Yeah, so I was talking about here where we left it here where we are talking about the Excel file, right? Where I was talking about how in real life it looks like the lead to order, the example that I was talking about. For example, one case that has been created, the lead source was a marketing event. Similarly, this lead we got it from the marketing event. This lead we got it from the social media. Now, these are all the case ID that you have in a separate file that you have received it. Now, there is another file with something called event thing. So what is there in the event? You'll have the same case ID that you have created, but here it will be in more detail. So there in this separate file, you will have only one case ID, but here in this event file, you will have multiple case ID with multiple activity what you have done it. For example, I'll be taking an example of like this. I will taking one case ID and I'll show you how it works. Okay. So now you can see here the same case ID that I have shown you in the next Excel file. What data we have for this? For example, there is something called create opportunity. Then there is something called change close date, opportunity, closed one, opportunity amount, and everything that you have, we can see here in this particular file. So this is what in real life also event looks like. And also you can see here, as I talked about, in event you should have an activity, you should have an event in time where you can tell what is the timestamp of those things, which help us to understand, okay, when that event comes, when that event ends, all those stuffs. So now with this basic information, let's see how we can do it in our UiPath app. Okay. Now, I'll be clicking on this development, which you can see it here. And there is an option on the extreme right. There is something called create new app. What is the use of this create new app? Where you will be creating this app with the different templates that UiPath provides. So as, for example, as I have talked here that UiPath has already integrated with purchase to pay, order to cash, incident management. Now, based on your requirement, for example, you have a purchase to pay cases where you want to understand what is the procurement, what is the compliance, what is the order to case, what is the efficiency, what is the order fulfillment. Based on your requirement, UiPath gives you multiple app template, which I have just discussed. So now you come here and you choose based on your requirement. For example, if you want purchase to pay, if you want SAP, you can come here and go with this create app. Similarly, here SAP Ariba. Similarly, SAP Data, SAP Oracle JDE, Oracle NetSuite, Oracle Cloud, Oracle EBS. So different template, and these are basically helps you to become more specific. Now, if you are using purchase to pay specific to SAP, you'll get the content, you will get the dashboards, you will get the KPIs based on these purchase to pay. Similarly, if you are using Oracle, based on purchase to pay, Oracle dashboard or KPIs that UiPath predefined it, that is there to help you. You can always edit it, you can always add it. For example, other thing, order to cash, incident management, account payable, and there are a lot of things that based on your requirement you can do it. But for example, as a new people, as a new person, you don't have this much of processes. You only have the event logs or an Excel file. That's it. You don't have anything. So then you have a separate case. For example, an event log, which you can see here, or a custom process, which you can see it here. What is the use of these two things? So event log is basically if you have a single event file, for example, this event file, which I have just shown you. If you have this file, then you come here and upload it. This is what this is what and how simple it is to you for you to upload any data on this event log. And once you upload it, you just click on create app. But suppose if you have multiple data, you have two datas. You have a case ID in a separate Excel file. You have an event ID in a separate Excel file. Then you can use something called create process, where you can, if you have multiple file, you come here and create this app. So for my example, since I have multiple files, for example, case and event, so I'll be clicking on this create app. Now, the basic things, whatever name you want to give, for example, I would say meetup. What, and you can give the description, what is this app will be all about, all those things. So for example, demo, I'll click on save and next. And now a very important point to remember here is called the data source. So UiPath gives you three data source options. First is called use sample data. Another is called you upload data, and upload data using extractor. So what is the difference between these three data source that we are seeing here is, first is use sample data. Sample data in the sense, here you don't need to upload any data. UiPath will itself provide you those data and you can play with it. For example, if you want to see what is the template, how it looks like, what will be the dashboards, what will be the KPIs. If you just want to learn for that educational purposes or the training purposes, you can click on this use sample data and click on save and next. But since in our real life, we don't have only sample data, we have to work on a real life data. In that case, you'll have only two options. One is called upload data and another is called upload data using extractor. What is upload data? Upload data is basically when I will be providing or the client will be providing you some Excel data, like the things that I have shown you. You have this Excel file and you want to upload it into the app, then you can click on this upload data and you can click on this search bar, and whichever file you have, just or you can upload like this and click on open and something like this, you can upload it. Automatically it will take it, what format, what should be the name, what should be the template, everything is there in the doc of this process mining. You can find it everything, and I will also show you where you can find it and all. Now suppose, what will be the disadvantage of using this upload data? Now you client will be manually sending you file, you will be manually uploading it, there will be some resistance, there will be some file limit, which when you upload it, it will come. So if those scenarios are there, then you have a third option that is called upload data using extractor. Now what is this upload data using extractor? This is basically, for example, if your client data is there in the SAP system, now extractor will directly connect to that SAP system, extract that data from there and put it directly into the process mining app. So it's a real-time movement where whatever data will be there, it will come using the C data extractor, Theobald extract universal, data bridge agent, whatever name you can. We have all those extractors to extract the data from those systems. So these are the three data sources that we have. I'll be demonstrating you three use cases where I'll be showing you what is the sample data, and also two upload data where I'll be showing you what are the challenges, what are the benefits and the limitation of all these things. So for example, I'll be clicking on this sample data or upload data, simple like this. Let me click on something like this. And click on save and next. And now, once you click on save and next, you will have another process model. What is this process model? Here, UiPath is giving you an option and it is asking you how you want to see the process of yours. For example, there are three options. If you want to directly follow, it is more likely like A to B or C to D if is there. So it will not tell you that there are some parallel process. It is just more easy approach of seeing it. But if you use something called discover process model, it is more advanced version of process mining which use technologies. If there are any parallel processing going on, if there are any loop going on, everything it will help you to discover in a, it's a more advanced level. So we can click on both ways. And similarly, the third one is import BPNN model, business process model notation. It is something which, if you don't believe that UiPath is UiPath process that we are using is not good, I want to bring my own model. So UiPath is coming with this approach. If you want to bring your own model, you can come with this own model. You come here, upload your file. That should be in .bpmn. So right now we will not be going into this. Right now we can use the direct flow or the discover workflow. We can use any of these two, and we can click on save and preview. Once you save and preview, automatically it will take some time to load the data. Why? Because there will be a lot of data and it will depend on the size of your file. So since it, if you do it, it will take around 15 to 20 minutes. So I have already done it for you. So for example, I have done 3 use cases that I have told that I will be discussing. So I'll be starting with one by one with the sample data. So there is a name called purchase to pay that I have created with the same approach. Use sample data, directly follow, and then save and next. Now, once you click on that save data and once it is open, you can see it here. It will come with an application status, either success, failure, all those tips when the status change, last successful run. All those things you can see. Now, once it is done, you if you want to open it, you just come here and click on this purchase to pay this. Once you open it, you will see something like this. Let me click on preview. And the first screen that will come here by default using this sample data. I have not taken any data. I have not uploaded any data. It's the UiPath that is giving you just an information. Summary. Now you can see here a KPI list. You can see here. For those who are not not knowing the term called KPI, it is called key performance indicator, where it, if you are measuring something, if you have metrics that you have to track, you can use a KPI here. For example, what is your automation rate? What is your average throughput time? Throughput time is basically from the event you started to the end, what is the duration it takes. So all those things you can see here, UiPath is by default giving you. But now let me take you into other more deeper stage where I'll be clicking on something called end to end process. And you can see here another bar chart, distribution chart, column chart, whatever you call, and there is something called a process map. So this is a very important graph that you have to understand what is this and what does it means. So for example, how many of you are aware of purchase to pay? So purchase to pay is basically uh, a process where if you want to procure any purchase some requisition, you will create PO, then goods will delivered, then invoicing will done, and then the account will be payable. So this is a something purchase to pay process is there. So this is the general that you know that there will be 5 steps in my process when I am talking about purchase to pay. This particular step will help you to understand how your process in reality it looks like. And now if you think about my first slide where I talk about the expectation versus reality. Let me zoom it a little bit. So you can see here the purchase to pay, how it looks like. Okay, so you have create purchase requisition, submit it, approve it, create purchase order, and then approve purchase order. So basically, something it looks, uh, if I will talk about the first glance, okay, it looks like this. But if you see here, there is something, an option called variants. So what is this variants? This variants is basically will tell you the process that you know how it is different, how many variants of that process are there. So let me drag it to show you how many variants are there. So something like this, I drag it to the maximum. Here I can see there are 19 variants. 19 variants are there. And now when I see all the variants, now you can see here, if I do full screen, you will see here the process that which like create, purchase, requisition. It is not that sequential. It is something like this. You can see here there are arrows like this. There is rework like this. It is not following a correct approach. There can be anything. This process bypasses. So this process bypasses this process bypasses this, and then create, receive, this, that, all those other processes has also been added. So if you can see here, all those things like this, how many inefficiencies, how many reworks, how many movements from one process to other, everything which you can not be able to see using your normal gut or normal process knowledge. Using process mining, you get a better understanding of these things using just a few clicks. But here, when I'm talking about data, data is very crucial to get you these results. Okay. Now you'll ask me, okay, Pranav, I got it. You talk about we were having few process steps. We were having only 4 process steps. Now, as per this process map or process graph, I can see there are many processes that are following, not just 5. So I got that understanding. I want to know something more about these things. So let's see few example how this process mining really helps a company. So for example, this purchase to pay, why a company will use it? Company will use it because it has compliances. So for example, maverick buying. What is maverick buying? If people who are not aware about maverick buying is a process where you are not following the regulated or the process for the purchasing, but you are going beyond it, apart from the process. So you want to know about those people. For example, you the process is, once you create a PO and that PO is approved, then only you'll go for the orders, delivery, and all these things. But you got to know it. Some people already buy things and then creating a PO or approving it, which is a completely wrong way of doing a business. You want to understand it. So for example, you can see here there are many options on the right, on the left side of it, like tags, due dates, automation potential. I'll be coming to each of this uh, in a while. For example, I will come to this called tags. What is tag? Tag will help you to understand a basic what is your activity all about. For example, it is giving you an option like you have invoice received before PR creation. You have something called invoice received before PO approval. It means the thing that we were talking about, that our invoice received before PO approval. So I want to deep dive into this thing. I want to see it. Okay, who is doing this? Why? Which department is doing it? What is the total amount that I am having it? So apart from this, you can see here on the top, there are many other things. Purchase order items. So we are talking about there are 35 items that we have here. And also purchase order item end-to-end events. Now, if you see events, now you should think about the same example which I have given for lead to order. There can be 135 orders, but for that order, then there can be multiple events. And that's the reason for just 35 count of order or items, we have this much of events. So for example, I want to understand is who is ordering my order with before the invoice approval. So what I will do, I will come here and I will filter this. I just want to understand this. Now I'll again go back to something called root cause analysis. What is root cause analysis? Root cause analysis helps us to understand where is my exact process or the problem. I'll click on this root cause analysis. And now let me use something called material order, like who is ordering this. My objective is this, to understand who is ordering those materials. So I'll be coming here, and you can see here by default, this root cause analysis will give you a complete detail. Like there are only two data that we have selected. This is what it is telling. And in this case, you can see here, these two orders are coming from Sun Ultra 2 workstation. This is the product, like Sun Ultra and Sun Ultra 1. So this orders that we are talking about, that their invoice has been received before we approved the PO. So this is where it is coming. Now I want to understand from which plant it is coming. I am not getting it. Okay, I got that this is the product which are created, which are causing issue, but I want to know more about it. So let's see. I will click on this plus to get more detail about it. These things will come automatically once I'll going into the deep, but just to give you an information how it looks like. So okay, now you can see here we have again Sun Ultra, which we saw, and we got to know that this is coming from our plant in New York. Similarly, the Sun Ultra, which we were talking about, this is coming from our New York plant. So now we have a clarity. Okay, there is a product which has been ordered before our PO approval, and that is coming from this New York plant. Okay, now let me see who is that user who is doing it. So I'll be clicking on this plus, and then I will be seeing if you have option called users. So we do have an option material ordered. So now here you can see that there are many options which I can go through it. Like if I want to see which plant, which purchase order item, what was the quantity, what was the value. If I want to filter here, I can see everything from this particular example. Purchase requisition, due dates, purchase order items, event end to end. So all those things I can see here. So let me see here. Order. And let me, instead of plant, let me use purchase order creator. Okay. Let me see. I have changed the filter from material to purchase order. So same thing. I am seeing it. Now I can see that that particular thing I am getting from this particular user, that is P user 3. If you have multiple names, so right now there another name. So you can see here now I got to know that the Maverick buying and the Maverick buying that I talk about, all those things. Now you can see that only I talk about two PO items, two items, but the value of that is 196.85. So, and also the process looks like that. Those persons has followed something like this. They didn't follow the normal, like what they did, instead of create purchase requisition, they just click on submit purchase requisition for approval. So this is also, you can see into more detail about anything that they have done. Now, after understanding this, what will you do? So you saw that in the discovery phase, you put the data. In the conformance phase that we did just now is understanding it. Okay, what is the inefficiencies, what is the bottlenecks, who is doing that, how the process look like. So we got this. Now the next step is enhancement. So what is enhancement? Enhancement is basically, now you got these things, now you understood it. Okay, that New York plant, that P user 3 is doing that thing. So what you can do, either you can train that person so that the same thing that person will not do it, or you can work with your activities in case you feel it. Okay, that person, whatever they are doing, it's making sense, you remove your few process, you remove your activities, and that way you'll have more accurate process and which will be more compliant to you. So this process mining is so good to understand these details into more technicality now, helping those. And there are many things which we can't cover in a 1 hour session, but I hope this few details like how it looks like, what is the variance. So now you see here there are 19 variants. 19 variants is only 22% of your cases. Now you see here there are 8 variants which are 65% variants. So this means 8 variants are there of your process which you know, and that comes under, that covers your 65% of the cases. So similarly, like this, you can work on it. You can see other suppliers' performance. If you want to know which supplier is late, you come here and you see here you have one supplier called this, which is having late delivery rate like this. If you want to know more about it, you come here, click on filter. All those things you can do it. Apart from these things, there is something called automation potential, which what makes UiPath difference from Celonis. Is this the automation potential? Now, UiPath, by analyzing the data on its own, UiPath understood it. Okay, we have this much of process. Now you can, UiPath it itself giving you some suggestion that okay, there are 79% of automation rate. You can see your automation is rate this, manual processing time is this, which can be reduced. Full-time employment is this, which can be reduced by this. If you, this is telling you the automation potential. It is also telling you manual purchasing time is 16.5 hours. So this is your manual processing time. If you want to automate it, you can click on the simulation. What is simulation? Simulation is basically just understanding, okay, this is my process. If I'll automate it, what will be my revenue? What will be my automation rate? What will be the reduction in full-time employment? If I have this, I'll click and simulate. And now you can see here, out of this 30 full-time employment, I can reduce it by 2.1. Similarly, manual processing hours, which was like 10.25 hours, now it has been reduced to 1.01. Similarly, like automation rate has been increased to 47% from the, it has been raised to 10%, 10.76%. So all those things are here using this automation potential. One more thing is there, that if you want to send anything, you can directly send it to either automation hub, task mining, so that the automation will start. You can click on this submit to automation hub. You, with few clicks, like what will be the activity, what will be the process data, all these things you submit it, and then it will go to your COE lead who will analyze the automation potential, and then you can start working on it. So this is how it looks like. Similarly, with I don't have enough time to go deep into this, but I will quickly show you the other two things that I told that we will be discussing. For example, lead to order. What is lead to order? This is the upload data that I have done it from my side, and it looks something like this. Like if I click on end to end event analysis, now you can see here it is telling you average throughput time, it is taking 1.82. Average case is there, number of cases is this. Event analysis, if I'll see, I see there are 6.7 events, 6.46 hour it is taking this much of event. If I want to work, or if I want to filter anything, I can go myself and see, okay, these are the cases, this is how it works, and all those things. Similarly, if invoice processing is there, it looks more or less the same thing which what we have discussed it. So it's all the same thing, but your process mining requires a lot of data for you to understand it more. Okay. So I now with these things, there are other metrics that we have to discuss, but yes, there are huge opportunities in process mining. Like what will be the visibility, you will get it, you will get the opportunities idea, you will get the root cause analysis, compliance, data driven decision making, and now continuous monitoring and optimization. You will get all those things if you are started using process mining. There are again challenges here in process mining, something like what process mining can do, can't do, preparing the data, building a culture of cooperation, Keep doing this and finding the right place for process mining in the organization. And also, if we talk about the implementation, generally it's a 6 month or 3 4 months project where you start with the 4 week of roles responsibility, data extraction, kickoff meeting, data transformation, and then monitoring part. So this is all about what I have done it. In the interest of time, now I'll be open for the Q&A session and I'll be taking your questions. Any questions from this session, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer. No.
Hi, Pranav.
Yes, Ajay.
Thank you for the session. And I just want to ask one question like, is there any external license required to use process mining?
Uh, your voice is coming little steady, but I got your question. Like, is there any external license you're talking about?
Yes, is there external license required to use process mining?
Yes, we do need process mining license, which comes as an external. It will not be available to in your community edition or free trial that you are getting it. You need an enterprise license for it.
Right.
Okay, I got few questions from Vithal. Process mining will help us to optimize our manual process. And while uploading data, so should we use only Excel file? Okay, there are two questions that I got it. First, I will answer Rakshana's question. We use only Excel file? Yes. Excel file should only be there in .tsv or .csv file. And for this, the template that I am talking about, for example, purchase to pay, order to cash, everything is there in the doc. Like what should be the format, what should be the columns, what should be the column type, what data it accepts in that column, everything is there in that particular template. Please go to the doc of process mining and you'll get this. If you have again more question, please let me know, Rakshana. And again, with the like coming to your question, like process mining will help us to optimize our manual processes. Process mining will help you to optimize any of your digitized processes, which is there in any of your system. By reading the data from the system, then you'll come to any conclusion. If you don't have like manual process, if you're talking about, if you don't have data for it, if you don't have a record for it, definitely no, it will not optimize it. But if you have correct data optimization, then definitely it will help you to optimize, identify bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and many more.
Yeah, hi, Pranav. This is Dave here. Thanks for the session. I just wanted to understand, is process mining is only available for the enterprise cloud version, or is it available for the on-premises deployment too?
Both. Dev.
Okay.
Both it is available, but nowadays the focus is mostly on the cloud because of its I would say cloud is much better nowadays because of the tenants availability. Now you have seen the capability of task mining, automation hub. Every tenant you can use it in one. Where on premise it is difficult. It is not difficult, but little you need more infrastructure.
So when you say more infrastructure, it means that we need to spin up separate servers and or separate environment for the process mining apart from the UiPath orchestrator. Is that correct?
Yeah, like process mining needs, but if you have a already infrastructure for UiPath Studio, you can club it at, but different infrastructure in the sense, like 520 GB of those thing infrastructure, you need it separately for process mining.
Got it. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Pranav.
No worries.
Hi Pranav, Rajnish here.
Yeah, Rajnish.
So I wanted to ask, let's say if you are uploading data into a process mining app, something using C data sync. So let's say you have built a pipeline. So every time when you upload new data and it gets transformed. So every time when you upload new data, so will it transform the new data itself or will it retain the old data as well and build upon the combined data?
Every time new data will get updated if you have created the pipeline.
So the old data which was already transformed, that will get erased.
No. It will be there. It will be addition. So only
Okay,
new
it
data will
will
be addition, and then finally it will show you with the combination.
got it. Got it. Thanks.
I have one more question. Okay, in RPA life cycle in discovery phase, by using process mining, we can identify automation potential. Right. Yes, we can. With the this is where process mining is very important or very helpful, where you have multiple departments, and now you can use a process mining, and you can take the data from each department to understand how earlier they were working in silos. Now how are they working? So that data itself will give you that connection, how they are dependent, how they are interdependent, uh, or how they are working, what time they are taking. All those things you'll get this. And the objective of process mining is to work with multiple departments. Okay, any other questions? Anyone, feel free to ask. Okay, if we don't have, okay, I have one question. If you take data from different department, then most of cases data security assurance will be provided by UiPath. Yes, we follow GDPR rules, we follow all PHI, everything. But make sure when we are connecting it, we will be telling you what data we need. We never need any customer data. We just need the events data. That is what we generally needed. And Vithal, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would be happy to answer all your queries, doubt. Okay. If no one has any question, thank you everyone for joining the session. I hope I was able to deliver this, and feel free to give your feedback so that it will easier for me to improve in my next session. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy evening. Bye bye.
Thanks, Pranav.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thank you.